Morning, and I just want to preface this with saying this is not to make fun of anyone. Both of our perspectives are valid. I just find it very interesting because Dan and I are like 19 years and some change apart, and this morning all right, so I woke up like reflecting, like, is this going to get to the point where we're going to have to wear like masks again outside? I didn't like move to the middle of nowhere in the country to have to deal with LA style pollution, and granted it's not smog, it's Canadian wildfire smoke, but still it's getting to me that we have this every summer. So this morning I wake up with that in my head and I look at my phone and my phone's like, yeah, it's going to be both, continuing that air quality alert, and the UV is super high as well. Enjoy. So I go over to Dan and I'm like getting, ready to leave, and I'm telling him like, hey, it's, only for the sensitive range. And I didn't tell him that, but I was just like, the air quality is still bad. Try to keep the cat and the dog inside. And if you don't want to go outside, that's cool too. Totally cool. I was being honest. And then I'm like, and he's kind of like, sort of gives me a snort sort of a thing. And I'm like, all right, well, you're getting older and your lungs aren't what they used to be. That's all I'm saying. And then I follow that up with, and by the way, if you want to go outdoors, because he's been meaning to put the new dust tires on the Jeep, there's some sunscreen for you on the counter, on your side of the counter in the bathroom. Feel free to apply it. And I got very much a like, mom, thanks mom sort of vibe off of him. And we have like two very different skin types, so I know that's partly to blame. My father's side of the family is like Russian and Scotch, and I don't know what my mother is, but I do know from a long time that I burn easily. And I was just reflecting on my drive to work. I'm like, when did you discover sunscreen? I'm like, I don't think you actually were introduced to sunscreen until you were in Girl Scouts and you guys were in the woods and stuff. Because I do not remember, like, I do remember buying my sunscreen in like middle school or like high school. I definitely remember high school because I got this crazy idea in my head that I wanted to like tan my belly at one point. It was a bad idea. I did put on a bikini. I did tan the belly. Never again. Anyway. But yeah, I grew up with my dad who was just kind of like, yeah, you burn and you peel and it stinks. And then you discover, oh, you don't have to have this terrible burns your whole life. You can just wear sunscreen. Anyway, and whereas my husband, who is an older Generation Xer, grew up with the whole, nearly the whole, like, the sun focusing things and like the SPF 2, if that, or rubbing baby oil on each other and just frying like little bacon. And I did that for a little while with him when I was in my 20s and we lived at a resort. But yeah, now I'm just like, nope. I will be looking for the shade and slathering on the sunscreen. I've even found stuff to work with my hair thinning. But yeah, his attitude is just sort of like, it happens. And I'm like, okay. And I know, like, he again, his skin type's very different. He's got like Mediterranean Slavic skin, so he doesn't have to deal with the exciting frying burning cycle that happens with me. So that's also partly to do with it, because he's like, well, if it happens, it's because I've been out there too long. And I'm like, well, duh. But and also because you happen to work during the time of day, which I frustrate him a lot in the summer, because I don't want to go out and play when the sun is like between 10 and 2, especially, because I'm sorry, I was raised you don't go outside during those hours. You take siesta or you read something. You don't go outside and get yourself cooked. There's like a reason. There's the saying, only madmen and Englishmen go out in the noonday sun. Yeah. And it doesn't just, apply to southern climates either. We can very well get irradiated and burned up north. So anyway, I made it to work and gonna practice my Russian. I'm running late, but I don't have anything that has like a particular deadline. So thanks for listening.